Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Oscar Cisneros with Grease Monkey Garage. Different name, same ring. We're out here in El Cajon, California now. We're helping people get back on the road, get the vehicle serviced the way that they're supposed to be. And for those that don't know, we used to be a mobile mechanic operation. However, through the many years of sweat equity and the blessings that we have been able to have from the people that we've had opportunities to serve, it has allowed us to be able to get into this awesome building. And I'm just so full of gratitude for everybody that's helped us out and for God who's allowed me to have the opportunity to use these hands to serve and to get in here and make things happen. So if you guys don't have a mechanic or if you guys are looking for a mechanic, give me a call at 619-871-5729 and I would be more than happy to go over what's going on with your vehicle and hopefully build that relationship that in the mechanic stereotypical sense does not exist. Mechanics typically have a stereotype that's cheating, thief, dishonest. And we're trying to break that stigma. We're trying to remove ourselves from that stereotype and hopefully demonstrate to you that through our actions and not through our words, we're able to come through each and every single time. So, with that being said, give us a call 619-871-5729. You can always call or text us, whatever's more convenient for you. And again, I'm more than happy to be able to have this opportunity to help you. Now, if you already have a mechanic and the mechanic that you got is solid and he does good by you, by all means, stay with him. I'm just reaching out to the people who might not necessarily have that relationship or perhaps wanted to see if the grass is perhaps greener on the other side. And I can assure you in this case, it most certainly is. So with that, I'm going to leave that there. And as you guys know, I love to share wisdom. I love wisdom. I believe that wisdom is one of the things that has allowed me to get to this point in time in my life. And it's not just the understanding of the wisdom, but it's the application of wisdom, right? You can know everything in the world, but if you don't know how to apply it, you're just in the same category as the fool who does not know. So, as I got into this place, I began to think about the hands that got me here. And it's these two hands here. And I just can't help but be in amazement and in awe as to what these two little hands, these little paws, have been able to accomplish in my life. And I need to check myself when I start to think like that because it's very easy to begin to glorify myself. And it's very easy for me to try to take all this credit in my life and become, in essence, idolatrous or so to say, worshiping of myself. And if you guys know, I love Jesus and I have to give the credit where the credit is due. So I wanted to just share some wisdom that I've been able to extract from this text today, and I want to share it with you. And if it resonates with you, great. If you want to accept it in a secular way, I mean, it's applicable. However, just take the message for what it is and see what's going on. Just a quick context here. I was reading Jeremiah chapter 1. Or I'm sorry, chapter 1, verse 16. And just for context here, young Jeremiah has been given the task of preaching judgments against the country of Judea because of this idolatrous mentality that they've incorporated into their lifestyle. But God, as he starts to speak to them, and I'm going to just take a key phrase from this just to kind of hopefully bring this all together for you. He's telling this to Jeremiah. He says, I will utter my judgments against them concerning all their wickedness because they have forsaken me. They have burned incense to other gods and have worshipped the work of their own hands. There it is right there. They have worshipped the work of their own hands. And I see a lot of people, influencers, motivators, speakers talking about what you as an individual could accomplish. And there is the pinnacle that we call capitalism, right? I mean, I've been moving up in my life, right? Because ultimately we want to have a better life for our families. We want to have a better life for ourselves. We want to be able to take the kids to Disneyland. We want to be able to have a nice dinner, right? And as you begin to climb the ladder of success in this capitalistic society that we live in, it's very easy to forget your roots and where you came from. It's very easy to forget who gave you these blessings, where you got these little hands from, the knowledge, the brain that's able to retain this, the muscle memory to feel what's going on. So What I don't want to do, though, is I don't want to condemn the work of the hands. I don't want people to think that working is not necessarily a good thing. Working is a great thing when understood properly, the premise of it. Now, in Proverbs, here's a quick little scripture. It says that the desire of the lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. He covets greedily all day long, but the righteous gives and does not spare. In the book of Thessalonians, First Thessalonians, it's very interesting what they are writing to those people of that time. And it's very interesting because this is something that we were discussing just a couple days ago in one of our groups. And it says here in chapter 4, verse 11, and again, there's more context here, but I'm just kind of taking the snippet out here. It says that indeed you do so toward all the brethren who are all in Macedonia, and we urge you, brothers, that you increase more and more, that you aspire to lead a quiet life, to mind your own business, and to work with your own hands as we have commanded you. Very, very interesting there. So again, they're talking about the hands. They're talking about the hands and working and being able to use them to produce a lifestyle that's good, right? Now, I mean, I could go deep in this. I'm going to go deep in this real quick. If you're still hanging on, I appreciate it. If not, I appreciate the fact that you listen to the advertisement. But here's what the preacher, King Solomon, says in the book of Ecclesiastes in chapter 1. He says, vanity is vanity, all is vanity, which means everything is meaningless. He's saying everything is meaningless, he says. He says, what profit has a man from all his labor in which he toils under the sun? One generation passes away and another generation comes. And we think that, we have this legacy that we're going to leave behind for our kids. We think that we're going to have this inheritance that we're going to leave behind for our kids. And what exactly is that? Is it money? Is it finances? Is it a business? Because interestingly enough, within a generation, that wealth is gone. Because the generation that receives it did not work for it. They did not toil for it. They did not sweat for it. So they don't value it as much as the person who put the sweat equity in to be able to give that to somebody else, to the next generation. So then at the end of the day, why do we work so hard? Why do we work so hard to stack up riches for ourselves here on this planet, on planet Earth, if you have that worldview? And it doesn't make sense to worship the work of your own hands when we're so finite and there is an end for us. Eventually, I heard this speaker say that the other day, that I've never seen a U-Haul go into a cemetery. So why do we worship, again, the work of our hands, the money that we collect, the businesses that we make, everything that it's all ultimately meaningless. But then Jesus comes by and he says this in chapter 6. He says, where is it at here? Chapter 6, verse 19, he says, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, your heart will be also. So Jesus is letting us know that there's another type of work that we can do with our hands that we should glorify. And that's the gift of God to do right unto people, so that in heaven we have a treasure that never perishes. Thanks for checking this video out, guys. Stay blessed.